Hi, I'm Ryan Yan, Georgia Tech grad, class of 2013. I'm also the founder of a social networking startup that connects individuals anonymously based off of how and why they're feeling a certain way. Our community offers perspective, advice, but most of all, empathy. But that's enough about that. Pain is gain, right? Well, in a physical sense, if you work out, consistent overload does indeed stimulate muscular growth, which equates to increased strength. It's progress that you can both see and feel. But what about in a metaphysical sense? What about the pain that you feel in your mind and in your heart? Could psychological pain be a good thing? Through personal experience, I've come to believe that psychological pain could have a mental net benefit, one in which you can train your mind to become more interconnected with who you are, who you want to become, and how to get there. Now, most people try to suppress their depression, and for good reason. It's emotional, painful, not to mention a social taboo. 75% of people living with depression do not get diagnosed and don't seek treatment. I can tell you, I didn't want to appear weak or crazy either, but I can now unashamedly admit that my senior year of college was very difficult for me. I was depressed, I lost a sense of who I was, and frankly, I hated myself. And through this depression, I developed a sense of social anxiety. And this was really strange for me, and probably to my friends and acquaintances as well. I used to be confident, fearless, cocky even. I was even unafraid of talking to girls. I had this world is not enough type attitude, and I sought to conquer goal after goal. And I thought this plan was going really well for me until I started to fall and tumble after a series of professional and social failures. I realized I was snowballing, and I had a very long way to fall. And soon thereafter, my default attitude became one of, I'm not enough for this world, I can't do anything right, and I'm only deserving of the self-loathing that I now felt. I tortured myself inside. I was my own bully and a vicious one at that. I couldn't stop my mind from spinning out of control, and every single thought that I conjured would be immediately followed by a cascade of darker and deeper thoughts. My conscience had become a living nightmare, and I felt like I was stuck in an inescapable negative positive feedback loop. It distorted the very fabric of my reality, and I lost what it meant to feel human. Why do I feel so messed up? Why am I so messed up? I feel like I'm missing here again. What happened? It's because you failed, Ryan. You choked at both of your interviews for your dream job in your dream school, and then you cope by smoking cigarettes one after another. Look at you. You're a complete coward. You're pitiful. You know, you're not smart enough, articulate enough, well prepared enough. You're just not enough. I think your father was right about you. You're an embarrassment. You don't have a single ounce of substance within you. Why? Why am I doing this to myself? Because your existence is painful. It's painful for you and painful for others. You're worthless, Ryan. You're worthless. I'm worthless. And with thoughts like these, I lost control over my mind, and I let it take over everything that I was. I was now treading dangerous and unknown waters, and day after day, the rational seemed more and more rational. I did, however, have two distinct advantages. One, I was reasonably active. I was still going to class, some of them at least. And two, I had really good friends who didn't really seem to care how crazy I felt inside. And today, I'm so appreciative of the emotional energy and time they've invested in me thus far. I remember one day after class, a good friend of mine asked me how I was doing, and I responded, I feel like I'm just drifting through time. I feel existent, but indiscriminate. I felt like I was the third person. I had a sense of detachment, like I was just watching myself exist, or conversely, I was so neurotically deeply lost to my own thoughts and emotions. My friend, God bless his heart, has probably listened to me articulate this 1,000 times. And normally, he would offer me some words of encouragement and listen to me complain. But today was different, and he challenged me. Ryan, why is it always one existential crisis to another with you? I've heard you analyze why and how you could be feeling this way at least 1,000 times by now. You have no reason to be this hard on yourself. Why are you this hard on yourself? I took this as a wake-up call, and I tried to actively get myself out of the depressed state I was in. I read self-help books, I sought therapy, and instead of judging myself at every single step that I took, I started to fight back, ironically in the form of taking a step back. I'd still relentlessly analyze how and why I was feeling a certain way, but I added an important step to the cycle and asked, should I feel this way, and what should I do about it? No, what will I do about it? Depression had made me acutely aware of how I was feeling at all times. But only through practice was I able to accept my moods and emotions for what they were and where they're stemming from. And from there, I'd focus on how I would like to feel. And even though I always felt like I was just one negative, indulgent thought away from spiraling out of control again, with enough practice, I was able to create mental cues in my mind to prevent me from going too deep in a direction that I did not want to go in. And by creating these mental cues, I became more self-aware. And this self-awareness allowed me to articulate, I'll feel worthless, empty, unaccomplished right now. Which would normally lead into a global declaration of, I'm worthless. But with enough practice and by flexing my mental muscles, I was able to change these declarations into questions such as, should I feel worthless? And do I even want to feel worthless anymore? After all, I wouldn't accept anybody telling me that I'm worthless. Why should I? So, why should I? I made a promise not to bully myself. But even this was very difficult. At times, I would still find myself fixating on how much I hated myself. And every single time I did this, I would tell me that I love myself repeatedly. I love you, Ryan. I love you. I care about you. You matter. You're still really weird, but I love you regardless. That was really strange, right? And initially, I also questioned how ridiculous it sounded in my own mind. But after a while, I started believing in myself. My mind and I were one again. Instead of focusing on what went wrong in my life, I began to focus on what I could do about it. And then I put my mind and plans into motion. And today, I feel a lot more confident and appreciative of all the moments in life. Through depression, one can experience a cognitive style so persistent that it can envelop your entire being. This intense introspection can lead to, sometimes in the beautiful forms of creativity and expressiveness, or sometimes it can serve as a powerful drive for you to solve your most essential problems. Dr. Jameson of Johns Hopkins found that successful individuals were 8 times as likely as people in the general population to suffer from a major depressive illness. Successful people are persistent and focused, much like an episode of depression. Whereas happiness is able to provide many great insights, it's much more fleeting. So it's no wonder why a little melancholy can help you focus on that next midterm, paper, or maybe even composing a symphony. Now, I'm not trying to propose that you try to become depressed. We all know how painful and debilitating it can be. But every cloud has a silver lining, and the silver lining of depression is that it can build incredible strength inside. So in conclusion, the next time you're feeling depressed, acknowledge and accept your emotions. It can be a powerful, growing, and learning experience if you allow it to be. And if you make it through, and you must, you become more interconnected with who you are and your surroundings. So do not repress or ignore your emotions. Do not hide and do not give up. Through this experience, you can discover why you love yourself for who you are and who you will become. Thank you.
That was a very powerful talk. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stop for a short intermission. We will have some snacks in the back. I want to ask for your patience though, because we do need to get it set up for a little bit. So if you could just sit tight for maybe 2 to 5 minutes, I'll come back on and let you guys know when you can get your free snacks. Because I know you're looking forward to that. So see you in 5 minutes. That was pretty perfect. All right, guys, ready to go? I'm gonna release you in a certain way so it doesn't get too chaotic. So first, can I get the first 3 rows to go that way, around there? They'll hand you your food, come back around and sit down. Go ahead and do that. All right, can I get the next 3 rows to get up? That's gonna get even worse.
Again, she put it there. If we call it D, we might like it. Just wait, don't send the next one. Yeah. All right, can I get the next 3 rows to go? Next 3 rows. And I told them like make sure when you give that speech, like you do it what, like text like when you give it. Holding up was like, do you need help? No, help like with the speech, like how did you? I know.
So I'll make sure I know it.
I haven't investigated. I've had no need to.
and get the next 3 rows to stand up. Next 3 rows. Got it. Okay, can I get everyone else to get up? Everyone else who hasn't done it yet, feel free.
What would 14 look like? Like the size of my thumb?
It would be not even